Welcome to another episode of BME for real. You know, today we're kind of like kind of talking about a very serious topic in regards to just humanity in general. On top of that, we're gonna be talking about the social media aspects of things and what's been going on in the world and everything like that. So, if you haven't know, if you don't know by now, there was a man who was executed in Missouri. His name was Marcellus Williams. Um, and basically, the details of the case was that they didn't really have much evidence other than him having the items um, of the victim, right?
Mm.
So the story basically is like somebody broke into the victim's house. They stole all their belongings and they stabbed the victim 38 plus times. So, of course, you would assume if somebody is stabbing somebody 38 plus times, it's a little personal.
Mm.
It's either personal or that person does have like a mental defect behaviorally. So then it comes down to okay, what's the evidence for him?
Mm.
And none of the evidence, again, other than him having the victim's possession, like one, I think it was one or two of her possessions, linked him to the case. And even the prosecutor, the family of the victim, and just everybody basically was basically saying, "Hey, we don't think he may have actually done it." So then it comes down to okay, shouldn't that at least be means of like retrialing this
Mm.
because he's on death row? And basically, the governor and the Supreme Court were like, "Nah." And again, millions of people are signing petitions, everything like that. But no, they said nah. And it goes to wonder, what is our judicial system actually for, if not trying to find the truth?
Mm.
Right? Because, and we know how it was. Oh, I'm going to say this. Black man in Missouri in the 90s, you kind of,
You're cooked.
yeah, you could be 2 miles, 5 miles, 10 miles away. But if you in Missouri, right, or stay Mississippi, all right, they're gonna find some way to get you. Now, my only thing I'm thinking about is like, how did you get the possession of her stuff? That's the only thing that weighs on my mind. Is like, how did you end up with stuff? Well, we all know how the streets are, right? He may have bought it or got it from the actual killer.
Right.
Right? Because everybody know, like, if somebody stole a PS5 nowadays, right, or an iPhone or anything like that, they're gonna try to get rid of it as soon as possible and try to get some money. So like, for example, say you stole an iPhone 15, iPhone 15 state of the art, but you also know it got a tracker on it. So what do? You try to sell it as quick as possible, and you sell it for cheap, right? $100, $200, right? But in regards to this guy, like it was a reporter. So if he had no personal ties to the reporter, why was the crime so heinous? It's never the case when it comes to non-personal crimes being like this,
Right.
unless it's a cult or a mental disorder. Never is it just, I just happened to rob them. So what do you think, Jared? Like why? I've heard stories about this Missouri governor anyway.
Yeah, they call him the governor of death. He has like a nickname because that's his thing. Never pulls people off. This man.
It's not even just that. He doesn't like to be wrong.
Right.
He apparently there's a case where he had the teacher's social securities on the government website,
Mm.
and a reporter found it and told him, "Hey, you have the social securities on the website. Can you please bring it down? This is I'm letting you know so I don't have to report it and make you look stupid. And instead of saying, I bet I'll take it down, he then flips it and goes, due to some hackers on our government website, our teacher social securities have been revealed. So instead of taking the initiative and just taking them down, he then blames hackers and then went after the reporter. And then even the own prosecution and everybody found out that it was actually in the code. It was actually in the, I forgot what kind of code it's called, but the core source code. It was actually in the source code on the website, easily as day. Right? I forgot. It's like you press control something.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And then all that stuff comes up. It was right there. And instead of, fixing it, he blamed the guy. And even when he said, you guys got to arrest this guy, the prosecutors were like, no, because it's in the source code. You're wrong on this. And then, so instead of admitting he's wrong, he then goes, we are trying our best to do this, but the prosecutors don't want to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he doesn't want to look stupid. That's basically, he doesn't want to look wrong. And because he's the one that says that Marcellus Williams did it in the discussion, he doesn't want any type of trial or evidence to come out to say otherwise, because then he put an innocent man to death. Right? So what? First things first, we acknowledge, and as human history, the death penalty is pretty barbaric. Right? Back in the day, you stole some potatoes, your head got chopped off. Right? You slept with the neighbor's girl, your dick got cut off. Right?
I don't know if they did that one. I don't.
Nah, they did it. They did it. They chopped off your dick. It was crazy. Right? And then, we already know the medieval times where they would put guillotine. You in an iron bowl, guillotine, the thing that splits you in half. It's like just a triangle, but it pulls you, tie you to horses, and then they drag you across the street forever. That kind of thing. We've seen all that happen. And we look back at those times, we go, my God, that's barbaric. Why would y'all kill him? You know what I'm saying? But now all we did was basically say, instead of him screaming to death, we let him go to sleep first. So it's still a barbaric action. He's going to sleep. So who are we to kill someone off, right? And unless all evidence without a doubt, see, we play around with that whole without a doubt thing. We play with that whole. No, I mean, I can't even question the innocence of this. I can't do it. I can't question if the girlfriend in on it. I can't question if he wore the wrong shoes or none of that. Why are we so quick to the death penalty based off the crime? But when it comes to maybe they are innocent, we go, I don't know. Right? And then I'm already hearing that when some cases when new evidence is found, oh shit, the real person was actually in Georgia at the time, and he said it to his girlfriend and her family, and the girlfriend and family came through and was like, hey, this guy did it. The judges look at it and go, yeah, are you sure about that? You know what I'm saying? Oh, you can't get a new trial. Sorry, that's just hearsay. But then hearsay is how they got the conviction in the first place.
Right.
So what's your thoughts, bro? Let me hear something.
And what's also really fucked up, before Parsons was the current governor, the previous governor, he had, I guess he suspended the previous sentence and formed a committee to actually investigate, because the previous, they're like, yo, this doesn't add up. And then when Parsons got elected, he said, fuck the committee. All that's gone. This man's getting put to death. He didn't care. So right there, it's like, bro, what the fuck? As you said, he doesn't like to be wrong. This man is like, no, He's one of those blind faith people when they're like the justice system is never wrong, it's never flawed, the decision is always right no matter what. And as we know, the justice system is flawed. It is fucked up. It does get things
Yeah,
wrong all the time. Who was that
easily.
football player that got it like after like 20 something years? They're like, oh, wasn't him. Our bad. Everyone's like, yo, what the fuck? You just destroyed this man's life.
And they got the nerve to like reward, like, hey, he got $1 million, bro. I gotta realize $1 million ain't shit compared to 27 years.
Gone.
You know what I'm saying? That's not like that's. Imagine if somebody asks you, hey, would you rather $1 million or 27 healthy years of extra life? Motherfucker, you know how many people picking that 27 years? I don't. Not a damn soul is gonna pick that $1 million, bro. Not a soul. 27 healthy. He's a football player, right? So he was clearly in his peak prime or before that, and he took away 27 years of his life. You don't get back time. Once it's, hold on. Bam, I just lost a second. I can't get that second back. You know, I can get the dollar back. Can't get that second back though. So it's like, why do we still have it? That's number one, Jared. I'm asking you, why do we still have it? And what like when do you think we actually should use it in regards to certain things? Like when do you think we should
that's pretty it's low key, it's an easy answer. So ideally, the death penalty, like why do we have it? It should be used to put the scum of the earth down. Someone who's irredeemable, someone who's just so disgustingly broken that there is no helping them.
Okay.
And they have done something so unforgivable. There is no point keeping this person around anymore. They will never be a benefit to anyone. They need to be removed. So, in that sense, when you find someone guilty, it's like, okay, well, how do you know they did it? We got A through Z, everything, DNA, video footage, witnesses, everything.
Yep.
Without a doubt, this sick son of a bitch, whoever, is guilty. They did it. They have no remorse. They'll do it again. They can't be fixed or redeemed in any way. Give them the death penalty. Yeah. But the problem is, especially in this case, there was more, not even just a reasonable, there was way more than a reasonable doubt. It was so egregious that the previous governor was like, time out, pause this shit, let's investigate. That's a huge red flag that something went wrong in the case. Because if all the evidence they had, because what do they call it? Circumstantial evidence, I think is the right term. He had the laptop. Okay. Is that weird? Sure. Why did he have it? We don't know. But no DNA of him was in the house. There's no DNA on the victim. There was none of the victims on him, and they got stabbed 38 plus times. That's weird because that's a very violent, I'll just say a violent way to kill someone. There's gonna be blood, everything everywhere. 38 plus times, yeah, you're gonna have DNA on you. There's no way that happens, and you're clean. Your DNA is not on the site, it's not on the weapon, nothing. And then on top of that, the prosecution apparently mishandled the knife, and their DNA was on it. So I was like, wow, we know you didn't kill him. Because now it's a big red flag right there. Yeah. And yet they still were like, well, no, did it. It's like, no, it's all circumstantial bullshit evidence. And yet they were still like, no, execute him. They didn't care. So at this case, there was no reason to go with the death penalty because clearly something went very wrong with how the case was prosecuted. And now it's too late. He's dead now. But
yeah, he's gone. He's gone now. And it's and as I told you before, like we have situations like the Boston bomber, right? The older brother, the younger brother. Apparently, the younger brother didn't really do the bombing. He was there as a how do I say it? Basically as a support to his older brother. Right. But I'm not saying he did it, but he partaked in it. And instead of just keeping that man in jail, he got the death penalty. And the reason why I think it, and we got to stop this as a law. We got to stop that. We need somebody to pay, and because he's not here, you're gonna have to do it. Because the brother would have been tried and convicted of the death penalty.
Right.
The little brother would have been convicted of like conspiracy or like associate or whatever that is. Like when you're not doing the action, but you're supporting the action kind of thing. I forgot what that's
Right.
called. But basically manslaughter, because I know people did pass that.
Mm.
So then it's like they was like, because the brother died, they are seeking the death penalty for this person. And I'm like, bro, just keep him locked up for life.
Mm.
You know, a lot of people are like, but my tax dollars, and no, there are people out there who committed worse, and they get life. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do I say it? Like, okay. So me and my girl was watching the new documentary on Max about the Melendez brothers. And it's so what they were talking about is basically because they were abused as kids, does that validate what they did to their parents? For those who don't know what they did to those parents, the parents were in a room watching TV by themselves, just those two. And the Melendez brothers got two shotguns, then proceeded to kill their dad. Right? Shot him 2 times in both arms, 1 in the leg, and then finally in the back of the head.
Yeah, that's personal. Damn.
Right? That's number 1. Then they decided to kill the mom, but the younger brother couldn't do it. So the older brother then went into the truck to reload his shotgun, go back to his mom, and shoot her right through the cheek. Close range. So then it's like, okay, a lot of these new TikTokers and stuff are like, oh, mental health and physical and mental abuse, they're victims, all this other stuff. And I don't think they realize something. Crimes of passion involve you not knowing what you're doing in the moment.
Right.
So in Marcellus's case, if it was like this, sounds like a crime of passion because she got stabbed 38 times. That means somebody has to hate you that bad. But then it also wasn't because you stole their stuff.
Right.
Right. So it's not crime of passion. The fact that the father and the mother weren't doing anything to them in the moment, and they both got shotguns and they both attacked the mother and father when they weren't even looking. And then when the younger brother couldn't finish off the mother, you then decide, okay, I'm gonna finish her off. You had the mindset to then go back into the truck, reload your gun, come back, and then finish it off. That's not crime of passion. It's you thinking. You know what I'm saying? That's you thinking. And the fact that you are able to think and logically piece things together means that you know what you're doing. So you can't talk about abuse and everything like that like it's a crime of passion. Hey, look, no, the Melendez brothers was back in like '89. They were back in '89. But basically, it kind of plays into that because they were seeking the death penalty too for them. And there's actually a Mark Jackson basketball card, right, that shows the Melendez brothers enjoying the game. Right? You know why? Because what they did was they killed the parents, took the insurance money, which was about $600,000, right? And then went on to then buy baseball tickets, cars, Rolexes, all that stuff. So you tell me where the karma passion. Let me know.
I mean, it's not. It's premeditated. It's murder. I mean, at best for the case, you could. I mean, I don't know I didn't watch it, but I'm pretty sure like the defense just argued that they were so damaged by their upbringing. So maybe you could argue temporary insanity, but honestly, that probably wouldn't really go well in that case. I mean, they got life in prison, right? I'm assuming. I don't really.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, they got life in prison. It's like, so I mean, since we were talking about it too, we'll sprinkle in Homelander in a second, but it's like,
Yeah.
we know why you are the way you are.
Hmm.
But at the same time, what you did was still really fucked up.
Yes.
So at the same time, it's like, I get it, but you're still 100% wrong with what you did.
Exactly.
So you should be punished.
Exactly. Like I can understand your motive,
Right.
but you still killed somebody. Like I'll give you another example of how that doesn't really play out. So gangs, right? Gangs are all about get backs. You killed somebody in my family. So now if I see you, I'm overcome with emotion, I have to kill you or one of your family. Right? Never ever do you hear that in a court case with gang members. You know why? Because they know it's bullshit. Because when that person took whoever, you then made a deliberate decision to get revenge. And then up until the time you see them, you're planning it out anyway. You know? So that's just how it is.
So when I mentioned Homelander, I'm not gonna spoil anything about The Boys if you haven't watched it. But basically, a lot more is revealed about his past. And we get to see, well, damn, this is why he's really messed up. This is why he's such a psycho. But at the same time, we still look at how he's been through all the seasons. You're like, yo, he's still fucked up. He still hurt a lot of innocent people for no reason. So it's like, once again, we get it. Like, damn, bro, that's crazy. But yo, you got to go to jail or something. You got to be punished.
So this is why I was saying Homelander's case. Homelander was never taught compassion. So he's a weird case because he's taught to be a hero. He's taught to protect. He was never taught compassion. Right? He needed a mother figure and a father figure, and they took both of them away. Right? He killed his mom off of birth. Right? They said he literally ripped through her stomach, right? And basically laser beamed or whatever. It was something crazy. And his father was Soldier Boy, but it was not to Soldier Boy's awareness, if you get what I'm saying. So the people who he can see as people gotta remember, right? No matter what it is, kids are going to look for the mother and father figure. Because that's what they're genetically supposed to do. Who is the person that's supposed to take care of me? And the person that was taking care of Homelander was doing all the crazy experiments. So he was putting Homelander through all this pain and everything to test how tough he is. But again, you never taught him to cherish life, to learn to love people, and all of that. So that's why off rip, Homelander is dreaming of killing people, doesn't give a damn about what you are and who you are, obsessed with breast milk because he didn't have a mommy, right? All that. Hell, we saw what was it season 2, season 1 to season 2? They're looking for new people on for the 7, and it was a blind kid, right? It was a blind suit.
Basically, right? Daredevil. That's basically what the guy
was. He was Daredevil with super strength and durability, right? And Homeland is like, "Oh, you're blind, right?" He's like, "Yeah, but I can see echolocation." He was like, "Oh yeah. Watch this, man! Smack!" He busted his eardrums. Now he's deaf now. So then it's like, again, he wasn't taught to care about that. The kid was more of an obstacle, like, you're here to make me look stupid. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, let me see. This is why people say Homelander, the crybaby on Twitter. He is a crybaby because, again, he wasn't taught to control his emotions. He was taught to look good in public, try to protect people, and be a superhero. That's all it was. You know what I'm saying? If you look at every actual superhero out there, even if they're the anti-heroes, they care about people. Homelander literally saw a woman about to jump, and he's like,
"Jump!
Why don't you jump? Go ahead." And she was like, "Nah, never mind. I won't jump. I won't." He's like, "Oh, you gonna jump? you gonna jump? like what?"
And then the easiest parallel to him, Superman, right? Was raised right. Despite the fact that a man can knock over skyscrapers in his sleep if he really wanted to, if he just decided to snap, but he doesn't. Even though they're like, why doesn't Superman just kill that guy? He was taught not to do that.
Literally, Superman.
It's easy. It's very easy for him. If Superman could have no enemies, none at all, easily, way beyond more than any other superhero that exists. He could just pop your head. That's it. Villain gone.
He's an evil Superman though. So,
you mean Injustice? Okay. Well, Injustice.
There's multiple different Supermans. So the one you're probably thinking about is Injustice, and that's because Joker took things too far. And he killed Lois by making Superman kill her and their unborn baby.
And then the city got nuked. So it was
everybody he knew from the city was gone.
He basically lost everything. And just like that.
Exactly. So he didn't really become evil Superman. He became dictator Superman. Like, okay, bet. I ain't losing not a damn soul again.
Yep.
So that's when he ended up being that. And then there's a Superman, this is the one I like. There's a Superman who's actually the son of General Zod.
Oh, you're talking about that movie they had a couple of years ago? Yeah, that was a good one.
I think there's 2 or 3 of them. And he's raised a certain way. I think he's raised by Lex Luthor or something like that. I don't know, something like that. But he's more violent, but he's still compassionate.
That's the Hispanic one. He was the one that was raised by
no. He was Russian. No, that's Russian Superman.
No, it's the Hispanic one. He was raised in Mexico, but then he came to the US. That's instead of crashing in Kansas, he crashed in Mexico. So
that's it.
You're right. He still had compassion, but he'll still kill you if he has to. He won't be like, maybe he'll be like, no, you're a problem. So like in the movie, we saw basically there was a kid he's basically Brainiac. That's what the kid is. But the kid has no control of his powers, and he's about to wipe out the whole city. Yep. Yes. And basically, he's like, he comes in and he's like, hey man, I know you're scared, but you got to control your powers. And the kid's like, he's like, what, 8? And he's having a breakdown because I'm assuming he escaped from a lab or something like that. And he's like, I can't control my powers. There's nothing I can do. And in that moment, he's like, I can. And like, the kid's like, he knows what he means. He didn't have to say, I'm going to do it. He's like, oh, I know what you mean. And the kid's like, do it. I can't do this on my own. And he kills the kid, lasers him. But then, after like the dust settles, you see the weight still hit him. Like he still had to kill somebody he really didn't want to kill.
Exactly.
Like he just slid down and just like looked into the sky like, damn, like I didn't really have to do that. But there was no other option. So he did it.
Because it was his genetics along, it was his nature and nurture in one. Because Zod does whatever he needs to do, while nurture wise, he's taught still have to care about the little boy. So, and we can get into the nature versus nurture thing, man. We can do that next episode if we want to, because that's a big topic right there. I'll tell you that. That one's a good one. We can have a whole episode just devoted to that, an example. I'll tell you that. But as we approach our halfway mark, we're going to be talking about things we're seeing on social media and everything like that, and what's going on down there in Florida. God damn. So Jared's going to speak on that as well. So as you guys have known, of course, you got this whole Offset versus Cardi B war. Basically, Cardi B is basically saying she was cheating on Offset the whole time too. Offset's like, yeah, but you my baby mama, so I won, type of thing, whatever. And it has people split, boy versus girl, men versus women, about who's winning and who ain't shit and all this other stuff. I want to say this, right? First of all, cheating is bad. Even if it's get back cheating, it's still bad.
Yeah.
Like, you're just disrespecting yourself. That's all I'm saying. That's number one. Number two, cheating while pregnant is bad. Cheating while your partner is pregnant is also bad. Like, you guys look foolish right now. That's all I'm saying. Number three, this is where the guy perspective comes in. And also not really. So everybody knew Offset was a prolific cheater. Like, I would, like, anytime the man cheated, it was like instant news. Like, there was no hiding. And every time he went back to Cardi, what? Jesus Christ. No, but that's crazy. But every time we went back with Cardi, everybody's like, Cardi, why the fuck are you getting back with him? And it looked like desperation. She's like, I'm trying to keep my family together, but it's like, what's really happening, bro? Like but to be fair, I'm even here in Boston, I see a lot of women's dudes out there, and they take them back third, fourth, fifth time, and they take them back. Like it's crazy.
Couldn't be me.
But then then she reveals that she slept with other people too, and then now to me it's like, what are y'all doing? Like, what? I don't get why when people break up it becomes who can hurt who more. Like, if y'all break up, that's it. Why do y'all need to? Not only that, why do y'all need to tell us? Y'all got each other's numbers. Why y'all contacting each other through Twitter and all that for people to see? I bet you they got an album or something next week. Got something awesome. Because publicity. Because my whole thing is like, this makes your family look bad. And it's something Gramps always told me too. What you put out there in the world is a representation of who raised you. So if you're arguing about cheating, who cheated better, your parents is looking at you like,
yo, what are you doing?
I mean, to be fair, the names is kind of crazy. But it's like, what are y'all doing? And on top of that, the worst thing I think is when people, average everyday people, are trying to use celebrities as their means of validation. Right? A lot of people are like these are the trolls, right? They're like, no matter how cheating he was, Offset was always there. No shit. He's dating Cardi B. Like, what are we talking about? He's not gonna give up the money. He's not gonna give that up. At the same time, Cardi just probably wanted consistency and stayed with the same dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's like, hey, it's better the devil I know than the devil I don't. You know what I mean? Like, I think that was another thing. On top of that, I feel like this is just a whole nother thing to kind of put men and women against each other, like always. Because for me, I think the world kind of ended when social media became it. Because we let people who have huge platforms speak on stuff they don't know. We have people with huge platforms try to say this is the truth and it's not. On top of that, their influence is huge. It's huge. Because, and this may be she didn't outright say it, so that's good, but it was something I saw on social media, like in regards to black men and white men. Serena Williams. Everybody's pointing out her appearance changed when she was with a black man and when she was with a white man. Right? White man was straight hair, now she's straight hair, outrageous, crazy makeup, all this other stuff. Black man was like natural hair, curls, all that stuff. And then because she's smiling in one of her pictures with her kid, like, of course you're gonna smile with your kid. Everybody's like, yeah, get a Tommy and not Demetrius. And it's like, what? What is that? What are we talking about, bro? Like, social media has done a great job at making something be there that is. Right? Because imagine if they had social media back in the day like slave days.
Oh, nah.
They just put, escape masters thing, plantation. And then somebody writes, you ain't take me with you? Nah, bro, you too dark. That's crazy.
I know.
That's crazy. Nah, bro, you light skin. You in the house. I was in the field. You know, that's crazy.
It's like, it was, I don't know. Social media was, I would say it was okay up until around, I want to say 2014 is when it really started going south. And then from
Mm.
there, it's just kept evolving more and more. Because
Well, we
early
should
on, what was
definitely have a segment of like tweets if slavery was a thing. I think we should definitely do that one day. No cap, we should definitely do that one day. Go ahead, Jerry. Go ahead.
because it's like before, like when Facebook first came out, right? When we were in high school, it's like, what do we use it for? Oh shit, I can keep with my friends.
Yep.
That was really it. That's all you did.
And farm animals or whatever that shit was.
Yeah, that was it. And now we look at it now, you're just like, yo, what the hell happened? How did it just turn into a huge cesspool of this bullshit?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, I don't know. I guess you could say it's become poisonous at this point.
It has, because it's the same thing I even said about like the games nowadays, right? Multiplayer games that have like certain builds and everything like that.
Mm.
Nobody wants to be unique in regards to being themselves. So they look online to see who they can be.
Mm.
So what happens is, like I said, like for example, 2K. What 2K originally was is you painted and created who you would like to have been in the NBA.
Mm.
Basically. So if you wanted to be a center, you was a center like Shaq or dominated in the way Shaq did. If you was a point guard, you was a point guard that could cross everybody up and shoot a three sometimes. Right? If you was a shooting guard, you was Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Like it was all that. Now it's, hey guys, this is so and so here, and this build is godlike. What you need to do is put your stats here, 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 and here, and nobody's gonna stop you. But guess who can stop you? Everybody else who watched the video. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like 2K, the reason why 2K16 to me was peak was because that was the last year everybody played them like with pause. Everybody played uniquely. Right? When I signed up with my boys, not a single one of us had the same build.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? We didn't say like, yo, who can shoot threes? Yo, who can do this, who can do that? No, we just played. You know what I'm saying? Now, nowadays it's, and I'm guilty of this too. Damn, now that I have a center who can't shoot, now I gotta build somebody else who can shoot. Oh, hey guys, that person can shoot. Now I gotta be somebody else who can defend perimeter because my center can't defend perimeter. Even though back in the day he could, now I'm limited because I decided to put my boy at 6'10". It's the shit to me that makes these games so freaking bad. Hell, look at League. Remember how League was? Yo, if you build that on this champion, you're a troll. Even though it works, but because you built it, now you're a troll because it doesn't follow what everybody said was good.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? They didn't get to that point until they themselves had to pick something that wasn't good. And then it turns out it was. Due to social media, we are losing all our uniqueness in life. You got millionaires and billionaires talking about how they got rich and how everyday people could do it. That's a damn lie. Because the circumstances that made them there and put them there isn't existing today. Right? A lot of COVID, right? COVID created so many millionaires because everybody bought the market when it tumbled. Right? So you created new millionaires. So somebody today, when the market is still going up, listening to advice on somebody who profited off of COVID is going to then lose their money because they are not in the same circumstances. Right? It's the same thing I saw when I graduated high school. Everybody's like, I don't need to go to high school. Look at Bill Gates. Look at Steve Jobs. Motherfucker, these dudes got into Harvard, MIT, and shit.
And
they
you're
were
dumb.
already smart. They were already smart in inventing shit to begin with. And it's not they didn't go, it's they went and dropped out because they already started their shit. You ain't them.
It's like you failing math class, bro. What is like? How are you?
You know what I'm saying? Like you're not them, bro. Stop trying to be them. Their circumstances was different. In a world where we needed computers, Apple and Microsoft made them.
Mm-hmm.
In a world where we needed Wi-Fi, Netgear and shit came out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? What do we need in today's world that we don't have, innovation-wise? We don't know because we're not thinking about that right now because we're living in the moment. It takes those that were like, maybe we need a car, like hybrids and shit, right? Somebody was like, hey, what if we made a car that's both electric and gas?
Double the mileage.
Right? If you're driving in the city, it's electric because you're not using much power. But once you hit the highway, you use the gas. That's innovation. You get what I'm saying? So you, Mr. Let me make my 10th clothing line or something, isn't going to get that because you're a lot of these people are going into markets where so much already exists and saturated.
It's saturated. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Right. And don't get me wrong, some of these clothes be nice. I'm not even going front. But I could buy from you at $50 where I could go to Old Navy and get it for $5 for $10. Right? I could try to support you, but at the end of the day, I got my own life. Right? So why not make something that's more unique? I always say this as a streamer. If my boys, I'm looking at QC too, because QC can draw. If QC can find a way to make animated emotes and that stuff, QC would be my primary and only person I buy emotes from. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why? Because the market needs non-robotic, by the way, where people just harass you and shit. The market needs emote makers with reasonable prices that can talk to you one-on-one.
None of that AI bullshit where they just
none of that AI shit. Right. So all I'm saying is stop trying to be other people when it comes to certain things. You can take inspiration. This is why I always tell people, like when it came to money, credit, and all that stuff, I help them no matter what because I learned certain things that they now can take advantage of. Not things that I took advantage of and then they have to wait till it's their turn to take it. That's not me. So when in regards to that, it's like, you know, what are we doing? What are we doing? And off topic wise, I just want to say this. Just a little thing back in the whole Missouri and Atlanta thing or something I wanted to actually point out. Because we were talking about slavery. The South was the worst place to live, right? For black people. The fuck are we going down there again for?
Well, not everybody migrated up.
No, that's no. Hell no. Okay, because every time I ask somebody, yo, where you moving to? They always say down south. Oh, it's cheaper down there. No, it's cheaper in the Midwest. Why are you going down south? Where the worst thing to they say like the worst, in my opinion, right? The worst place to be for black people is down south. But then they say South is run by black people. I think that's the biggest lie. Because down south is where you get the what you doing around here, boy. You know what I'm saying?
Sundown
those
towns.
type of people. You know what I'm saying? Like anytime I hear a case where a black person's getting mistreated or this happened or that happened, it's normally a southern state. Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi, Missouri, what that shit called right now? New Orleans or whatever that's a what's New Orleans?
Louisiana?
Louisiana, Dave. Thank you. Like it's always those areas. So why is it that every time somebody says, let me restart my life real quick as a black person, they go to those areas? I'd rather be a black person in Montana than Georgia.
It's quiet out there.
I'm just saying that beautiful mountain town, all that other stuff. I'd rather be over there than Georgia. So I don't get it. Why do you think that is? Because I get it's cheap living, but again, the Midwest is cheap too.
Popularity, I guess, maybe. Or they think, oh, well, I've seen these other people thriving out here. I can probably do it too. But I don't. They don't think about like the long term potential ramifications about going down there. Because like even now, people say, like, I guarantee you, someone who's gonna watch this, like, say, well, what's a sundown town? Like, what's that? Bro, you can Google Maps now. There's still sundown towns to this very day in 2024.
Explain to them what a sundown town is.
Okay, in very simple terms, a sundown town, it's generally almost always small towns deep in the South. And if you look like me or Duncan, or if you are not white or don't look white, you should not be in that town after sundown because you are probably going to be killed or tortured or both.
That'll
And they're
be
going to
legal.
find you weeks later.
It's legal too, by the way. I don't know if people realize that. The
That's
sundown
sundown
town is allowed to kill you. Well, at least back in the day. Like they put a warning before you even reach the town.
It was
Sundown town. So if you are in that town when night hits, that's life forfeit. And the cops and nobody can do shit about it because you were warned. So sorry. Sorry. You know what I mean? Yeah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
But yeah, I would have moved to the South anytime. I remember one of my friends, he was talking about moving down. He was like, he's white, but he was gonna move down south. And I was like, where? He told me, I'm like, yeah, I won't be visiting you, bro. I'm not going down there. He's like, why? I'm like, bro, I ain't gonna be around that town. No, thank you. I'll see you when you come up. I was like, I ain't gonna be down there. I'm sorry to tell you, it ain't gonna be me. It ain't gonna be me. But no, I don't understand why. Maybe they look at some potential opportunity that we don't see, but it's like I don't think it's personally worth the risk going down there.
Yeah.
Because all you need is like, let's say you don't live in a sundown town, right? But it turns out your police precinct is racist. The fuck are you gonna do?
You can't do shit.
You're screwed. You can't call the cops. They don't like you. They hate you. You're screwed. You can't call for help. You can't rely on them. They're gonna give you shit. They're gonna give you trouble for no reason. They're gonna look for a reason to arrest you. Everything. You're screwed. And people are like, no, they wouldn't do that, bro. What was that one group of cops that got busted? The Goon Squad. Like they had a whole gang of cops that got busted for doing like illegal shit to people and stuff.
Yeah.
They had their own little gang. The Goon Squad.
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah, nah, that ain't gonna be me. I'm gonna stay right here.
Shoot, and then you got history like the town of Rosewood. For those who haven't even like seen the movie is pretty accurate with how things actually happen down there. To sum it up, because Rosewood's in Florida, so we're about to talk about Florida with that hurricane, so I'm gonna just connect. So there was two towns in Florida, right? One was named Sumner, the other one named Rosewood. Okay. Sumner and Rosewood were neighboring towns. You could walk from Rosewood to Sumner. Sumner bigger, Rosewood smaller. Rosewood was black, Sumner was white. So what happened was these two towns got along. Right, black people worked in Sumner. Sometimes the white people get their stuff from Rosewood. That kind of thing. One day, a woman named Franny gets caught cheating. I won't even say get caught. Let's just say this: the people knew in the town that Franny was cheating. The person she was cheating with whooped her ass. So she got marks, she got everything. So instead of calling out the person, she said it was a colored boy. And mind you, everybody in the town knew the truth. Everybody. But there was a bit of jealousy for Rosewood because the Rosewood folks were getting they were more, good. I would say, they were doing well, like really well, but not because of handouts or anything. They were just that productive. So what ends up happening is these more jealous folk take that and run with it. I bet it was black folk. It was probably the one that escaped from the prison back then and all this other stuff. So now they're looking for a black man that they have no idea who he is or what he looks like, and just going, let's go to Rosewood. What ends up happening is I'm just skip all the details for those who haven't watched the movie, but they then burn Rosewood to the ground, killing hundreds and putting them in shallow graves, right? Like just women, children too, just bodies. So, and then again, the truth comes out. Hey, she was lying. Truth came out, and her husband whooped her ass. But that's why I give them credit. The neighboring towns, some of the neighboring towns were like, "We know the truth. Y'all ain't coming in here," because what those folks started to do is they started to hit up other racist towns in the area to kind of create a biggest lynch mob probably known to man.
Mm.
And sometimes we're like, you aren't allowed in our town because our folks are good folks.
Mm.
So some towns were defending us as black people, but most of the towns were like, bet. So now if you go to where Rosewood was, it is now a swamp. It is completely non-existent. But Sumner's still basically there. Florida, man. But everybody loves to move down there. and people be like, oh, that was so long ago. My grandfather was alive. Like, what are we talking about? Let me tell y'all something. 50, 60 years ago was not far. You know how I know? Because I'm about to be 30, and the 90s felt like yesterday. So when somebody tell me 50-something years is far long ago, you a damn lie. But my dad about to turn 60, and he can still remember his childhood.
Like,
speaking of Florida, y'all are damn fools for moving down there for hurricane season. Jerry, tell them all to talk about it.
Oh, all right. Well, as I'm sure you all know, Hurricane Helen, it ripped through. It's over now, but
bro, you said Helena, right?
Wasn't it Helen? Helene? I think that's how you pronounce it. Helene. Hurricane Helene.
Helene. Oh, yeah, it is Helene.
Okay. Yeah, Hurricane Helene. One, they didn't. It got upgraded to a Category 4, if I remember correctly, right before it hit landfall.
Yes.
And it shredded the coast, especially I think it's the city St. Peter in Florida, bro. It had a 20-foot storm surge of water flying into town. And like, you can Google it now. There's basically 5 feet of sand around the entire town. Like, just sand everywhere. There's cars buried in people's houses and shit. I have never seen some shit like that in my entire life. The storm ran through, and then after it was done with Florida, it went deeper inland and hit Georgia and Kentucky, and it was washing away people's farms and shit. There's a farmer who's he was crying, obviously crying. He turned the camera. It's just like water. There's no barn, there's no house, there's nothing. It's just all underwater. It's all gone. This shit washed away towns. And what was it? 3 of the dams, they were they're probably gonna fail. They were really concerned about the dams failing, but luckily it didn't look like, I don't think any of them did. But even from now, I think they said there's another hurricane potentially forming, and then it's going to make landfall. And if that happens, there's already nothing. So now this is going to come in, and now what? So seeing stuff like this is insane. And then there was a lot of, I was reading comments and arguing. People are like, well, if you knew the hurricane this bad was coming, because some people, they stayed. So we were like, oh, I'll just weather it. Well, why would you stay? And then some people were like, well, they have nowhere to go. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? It's there's I'd like to say there's a bit of nuance to they can't leave, because it's all right, so what does that mean? Well, I don't have any family outside. Well, that's fine, just drive out of the state for 3 or 4 days while the hurricane's there and then drive back. All right, you can leave. Versus well, our car doesn't work and I have my whole family here and we can't do anything. It's all right, maybe we can understand that.
Let me read this right now. So it says at least 93 people are dead across 6 states. It says deaths have been reported in South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, North Carolina, Virginia, and Tennessee. At least 36 people are dead in North Carolina alone.
Mm.
At least 25 are dead in South Carolina. 2 firefighters. In Georgia, 17.
Mm.
Oh my God! And there was a tornado in Alamo.
Mm. It is
Florida.
wastelands.
Yep.
Chris, you're absolutely right. Some of the places look like a wasteland. It's gone. There's nothing.
11 people died in Florida. 2 died in Virginia. 2 died in Tennessee. There's a score of missing people, and they're not expected to get any power until October 5th.
October? Damn, bro.
Those 3 states are, I think 3 to 4 states are not going to have power until October 5th. Y'all got to realize this. End of the day, Mother Nature can kick our ass no matter what.
Mm.
We don't live here. We rent here. we don't live on Earth. We rent Earth. Okay. Mother Nature, the landlord, and if she decides we ain't pay that rent, this happens.
And I mean, they keep saying, "Oh, global warming's not weird." I'm like, you ain't noticed this trend of worse and worse storms every year? Every season's just getting a little bit worse, more and more, longer and longer. So it's like, all right, now this year was a 20-foot storm surge. All right, well, next year now we having a 40-foot storm surge. What are you gonna do? It keeps getting worse and worse, but that's not gonna change. Then no one's gonna do anything about that.
My theory on global warming is more of like a cycle. I think what's gonna happen is kind of the movie The Day After Tomorrow kind of fits it, but not really. Where the Earth is gonna correct itself,
right?
Because remember, for those who don't know, we're still in the Ice Age. Y'all know it, but we are still in the Ice Age technically. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like what's gonna happen is we are going to get hit with like several big cleansing type storms globally. And eventually it's like, okay, that was the breather. I think that's what's gonna happen. Now, the reason why they said the world might end this shit is because shit like this. You're gonna have category 5 hurricanes up north. You know what I'm saying?
Or next, we get a 6. Never documented before.
Never documented. So it's like, what are we talking about? But this Florida shit,
insane.
is I could never do it, man. It's this is bad.
And then it's like, but honestly, no, there are cycles. You're right, but we still are affecting it. So, for example, right, every time you expand and build a city, right, you cut down trees and stuff, you pave cement. It's called a concrete jungle, right? Normally, if there's forest, trees, and dirt, that can absorb water, right? But you keep getting rid of that, so nothing can absorb the water. So you're just making flooding worse every time. And normally, like you had a 20-foot storm surge, right? If there were still trees and stuff around as a buffer, that's why they say don't cut down the Everglades, because that's a buffer for Florida from storm surges.
Literally.
Every time you get rid of more, it goes way farther in than it normally would have. So we're slowly altering our environment and making shit progressively worse. And then every year we're like, what happened? It's like, dude, you cut down the forest. What do you mean what happened? That's what happens. So
I mean, even Boston, I don't think people really actually realize it, even Boston people themselves. The city of Boston is an island. No, I mean that literally. Like, we are an island. You cannot get out of Boston without crossing open water in every direction. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because literally, like, what's it called? I forgot. I think it was my gramps who showed me a picture where there was like a before and after, and before it was like all you saw was swampland, deep waters, everything like that. And it was like, here, this is downtown now. It's like, what? Yeah, no, all that ocean you saw right there. Yeah, no, not down. Now it's downtown. They did so much landfill and everything that it's just like. But for those in Florida, bro, Florida, North Carolina, Tennessee, we praying for y'all, man. Maybe this was the get back from Mother Nature for killing that innocent man. I'm just saying. I'm just saying,
But honestly, though, it's like
I think karma exists. That's all.
Because I know, like, especially with like insurance stuff, I don't know. if you're one of the people who's like your house got everything, because I've seen like a lot of that footage, they lost. When I say they lost everything, everything. So there's nothing left, and you get that insurance payout, move, get out of that state, wherever you
Yeah,
get out,
literally
go
move.
somewhere else. There's no point in living there because this was bad, but next year it's gonna get worse, and the year after it's gonna keep.
I'm definitely paying premiums for Florida, bro. Big premiums, bro. I don't care. Flooding, gators, fire, everything, bro. Mice. I'm getting mice insurance. I'm getting fucking crazy man insurance. Crazy man knocking on my door insurance.
And that's not even
all that type of insurance, bro.
And that's not even focused on like insurance companies leaving those states because of the hurricanes every year. On top of your like insurance premiums doubling and tripling. So it's like, bro, if you can leave, leave. It's not worth it at this point. It's getting worse.
It's the same in California with the wildfires. Like, companies are literally saying like, yeah, we're not doing this anymore.
It's not affordable. We can't do it. We're losing too much money.
Man, well, that's the end of the episode today, y'all. We may get into the nature versus nurture next week, man. That's a good topic, man. But yeah, like I said, it sucks that Marcellus was gone before he can even get a fair trial, but that's just how we are. So if y'all over there in Missouri feel like something needs to be done, y'all have the power to vote that motherfucker out. That's all I'm saying. Next thing, Florida, like I said, all those states, we hear what y'all move.
If you can
get out of that,
like you can get out. If you can
get out of anything that touches the Gulf of Mexico, just go up north, or just like as soon as you start seeing snow in the middle of October, you hit the right spot. That's all I'm saying. That's it. Now, and then men and women out there, bro, please stop using these rich folk as your standards, bro. They not like you. Okay, because at the end of the day, they got money to fall back on. Because last person, for example, women, last person you want to be is Jennifer Lopez, because she's on her like 7th engagement ring, right? And guess what? It's always the same people she's going with. I bet you if she was broke, she wouldn't be doing that. That's all I'm saying. Right? And lastly, stop trying to be not unique, but also don't try too hard to be unique, because that means you basically the same. Like, be yourself, fam. Like, everything you do, be yourself. How you play games, how you read a newspaper, how you talk with your friends, how you give advice, all that shit. Just be yourselves, man. Stop looking at YouTube and all that for your explanation on how you should do things. No, this is oh man. Any last words, Jerry?
Canadian maple syrup is different. I don't mean buying maple syrup here in the States. Fly up to Toronto or Quebec or anywhere up there, buy it there, bring that shit back. It tastes different. When I tell you, you can taste the tree. You can taste the mapliness.
Is that good?
It hits different. It hits so different. It's delicious. It's delightful.
Is it on Amazon though? Is it on Amazon?
Probably. But you got to make sure. You got to make sure it's from there. Because when you taste it, you shake your hands with the bear. You know what I'm saying? The bear's out there. And it's like, yo, Mr. Bear, this is some good shit. You're like, I know. Yeah.
Oh man.
Nah, I guess he said, huh? Nah, Canadian maple syrup. I'm telling
maple syrup. Oh, it's right here. Canadian maple syrup.
No. Bottled and harvested in Toronto or Canada, wherever it is.
Yeah, y'all, look at it. Look at it. Hold on. Look at
it. Have it brought back to you.
Let me see. Hold on. There you go. It's fancy.
There you go.
Fancy.
It's in the little maple bottle. Right there. It hits different. It tastes different because it's maple sugar. It's not that high fructose corn syrup bullshit. There was a man or woman out there hammering the little pegs into the trees to get the syrup out of it, and they purified that shit and they bottled it with love. Canadian love, I should say, not just regular Canadian love.
And remember, y'all. Remember, y'all, man. We're trying to grow the channels. We're trying to grow the podcast. So make sure to tell your friends and all that to tune in when we're live. If again, for those who wasn't able to see the full episode, I will upload this in 1 hour on YouTube. You can watch our thumbnail. It will also be on the playlist of BME for real. So yeah, tell your friends. We out. Peace, y'all.
Peace.